In My Hero Ultra Rumble, several characters have alternate battle styles. Each battle style shifts a character into a completely different role with new abilities, strengths, and playstyles that can make them feel like an entirely new character. One example of this is the Shoto Todoroki battle styles. The Strike version of Shoto is a strong all-rounder built around burst damage, while a technical version leans heavily into area control and utility. Even though they technically share the same character, they play very differently, so the question is simple: which Shoto is better? My name's Yestermorn, and in this video we're breaking down Strike Shoto versus Tech Shoto, comparing their abilities, playstyles, strengths, weaknesses, and how each one performs in today's competitive environment. If you enjoy in-depth character breakdowns like this, consider liking the video or subscribing. I've been putting out a lot of Ultra Rumble videos consistently, and there's plenty more on the way. With that said, let's get into it. First, we'll compare each Shoto's abilities, starting with their alpha. Strike Shoto's alpha, Blazing Fields of Roaring Fire, launches a fireball that applies burn on hit. This is his primary ranged option, and it's honestly a really strong alpha. It deals solid damage up front, with the burn adding more, it can be fired quickly, and it even has surprisingly long range. In fact, it has one of the best ranges in the entire game. If you can consistently land your shots, this ability becomes a major threat. And even if your aim isn't perfect, it pairs extremely well with his Gamma, which we'll get to in a moment, making it much easier to get reliable damage. Tech Shoto's alpha, Ice Fang Wind Flame, spreads ice onto the ground around him while also launching a large fireball forward. Enemies caught in the ice are frozen, and anyone hit by the fireball is burned. I have mixed feelings about this ability. The ice portion sounds strong, but it rarely catches anyone unless you're deliberately setting it up. Most players can avoid it without too much trouble, so it doesn't consistently get value on its own. The fireball, though, is much more reliable. It's a wide projectile, making it significantly easier to land than more precise ranged attacks. It applies solid pressure and gives Tech Shoto a dependable way to deal damage from range. On top of that, this alpha has important synergy with his beta, which we'll get to in just a moment. Both of these alphas are similar and ultimately serve the same purpose. However, in my opinion, Strike Shoto's alpha is simply better. It hits harder and can be fired off much more quickly. The only real downside is that it requires slightly better aim. Now let's look at their beta abilities, starting with Strike Shoto. His beta, Heaven Piercing Ice Wall, summons a bunch of ice spikes in front of him. This move deals heavy damage and comes out quickly, making it excellent for catching enemies off guard. It also doubles as utility. You can use it as cover to block incoming attacks while still allowing your teammates to shoot through it. In tight areas, it can even seal off doorways, buying valuable time while opponents are forced to break it. Overall, it's a highly versatile ability that adds both burst damage and situational control to Strike Shoto's kit. Tech Shoto's beta is also called Heaven Piercing Ice Wall for some reason, though it functions very differently. Instead of a spreading wall, he creates a large ice spike in front of him that can pierce through walls and hit enemies on the other side. It can also be used as a platform to reach higher ground, which is important because Tech Shoto lacks traditional mobility options. This ability becomes especially strong when paired with his alpha. If you aim at the spike and hit it with Ice Fang Wind Flame, it detonates in an explosion that damages enemies in the surrounding area, even through walls. This interaction is the core of Tech Shoto's damage output and is what makes him a strong control character. While the explosion itself is somewhat telegraphed and easy to dodge, it's extremely effective at discouraging aggression and locking down space. Both betas share a similar visual identity and focus on control, but their purposes are very different. Strike Shoto's version is better for direct damage and immediate pressure, while Tech Shoto's is more about zoning, setup, and forcing opponents to reposition. In the right situation, both are excellent, they just shine in very different ways. Lastly, let's compare their gammas. Strike Shoto's Gamma, Ice Stalagmite, sends a line of ice straight forward. Enemies hit take damage and become frozen. If you activate it while moving, Shoto rides the ice instead, allowing you to control its direction. This ability ties Strike Shoto's entire kit together. First, it gives him excellent horizontal mobility. It's fast, recharges quickly, and makes chasing down opponents much easier than you'd expect. Second, the freeze effect is incredibly strong. Once you land it, you can immediately follow up with multiple alphas before the enemy can move again. If you fully capitalize on the freeze, it leads to an easy guard break, and the move itself isn't too difficult to land. It's both a movement tool and a setup tool, which is why it feels so complete. Tech Shoto's Gamma, Fiery Prison, functions very differently. He summons a wall of flaming tornadoes that move forward, blocking any projectiles they touch. Enemies caught in the flames take damage and are burned. In my opinion, this ability is underrated. Since Tech Shoto lacks mobility, Fiery Prison is effectively his only defense option, and it performs that role well. It can shut down incoming ranged pressure while also threatening opponents who try to push through it. Anytime an ability provides both offense and defense, that's valuable, and for Tech Shoto it's essential. While very different, both of these gammas fully complete their respective Shoto's kits. These two battle styles obviously have a lot of differences, but interestingly, they thrive in very similar environments. Both excel in tight spaces, buildings and enclosed areas where control is king. That's where Shoto in general feels the strongest. Strike Shoto brings overwhelming burst damage while still being surprisingly versatile. He can pressure from long range with his alpha, create instant cover with his beta, and lock enemies in place with his freeze. His only real weakness is his lack of vertical mobility, but that can be patched up easily with tunings like Space Hop or Wall Runner. There's a reason why he's so common in matches. He's easy to pick up, straightforward to understand, and capable of putting out insane results. Tech Shoto on the other hand fully commits to control. He doesn't have mobility and he doesn't hit as hard up front, but indoors there are very few characters who can match him. He trades versatility for dominance in one specific area. In late game safe zones, Tech Shoto can be incredibly frustrating to deal with. You're constantly forced to dodge his explosions while he protects himself with Fiery Prison. If you try to push him, you'll usually regret it. So which battle style is better in the current meta? Right now, it's Strike Shoto. He fits the fast, movement-heavy meta far better. He does significantly more burst damage, has stronger mobility, and even has 50 more HP. While he might not control space as well as Tech Shoto, he still has strong control tools on top of everything else. Tech Shoto struggles early before he gets levels, and if he's caught out in the open, he doesn't have many ways to recover. In a meta where repositioning is everything, that limitation really hurts him. It's not that technical Shoto is bad, he's decent in the right hands and in the right environment. But Strike Shoto is simply stronger overall. That's going to do it for this video. Which Shoto battle style do you prefer, Strike or Technical? Let me know in the comments, and if you'd like to see more battle style comparisons, be sure to tell me. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking it or subscribing for more Ultra Rumble content. Thanks for watching, this has been Yestermorn, and I'll see you in the next one.